That's right, you guessed it. This video is all about the bass. Let's do it. All right, so what we have here is the bass guitar, no EQ in, right? There's no EQ at all. I'm gonna play the track again, and I'm gonna engage the EQ after about 10 seconds or something like that, just so you can hear the difference. All right, let's go. Okay, so as you can see, a lot of the low-end information for the bass is a lot of the information that the bass produces is in the low end, right? And that is not how I EQ my bass at all. I just did that because I was experimenting and I wanted to hear what it sounded like. And it doesn't sound bad at all. It doesn't sound bad at all. But this is what I like to do. All right, so we're going to engage that. And the first thing I'm going to do is clean up the low end. Because a lot of people think that doing this with the bass is doing something, and it's really not. You're just making noisier. All right, so you're gonna move these bubbles just out of the way, right? Play the track, and we're gonna clean up the low end. Now, it's a good place to start, and I think it should be left here for now. And we're gonna work on the rest of this mix. All right, so where I want to start is boosting and then finding out what sounds good to me. Yeah, it's giving me a weird low mid rattle. I don't like that frequency. Where I find I'm hearing consistency is right in this area. So we're gonna stay here. And I'm just going to narrow this Q. What I like to do is take out some mid-range, which leaves room for certain instruments that I have in mind. This is sounding good right here. I'm liking how this sounds. Let me turn this back up. mess around with this area. And see what it produces, right? So speaking with a couple of other engineers that have toured, that have done, a lot of work, they find it interesting that they like to make room around in the 450 frequency area, and they like to attenuate that to make room for like keyboards and guitar. And I do that in live sound a lot as well, and it works. It does work, but it doesn't work for every bass guitar. So make note of that. It doesn't work for every bass guitar, right? But I like what is happening here with the bass in this frequency range, so I don't want to do anything to it. Like, I'm not getting any muddiness in there, so it's kind of like if I attenuate it here the same way I would in live sound, it's sort of taken away from the clarity of what I'm hearing, especially in this range. So I'd rather just go to the harmonic of it, just double that frequency real quick, and just kind of boost that and let that do its own thing. So note that anything between like 700 hertz to 1K is like the string noise on bass guitars, cellos, upright bass, violins, on string instruments. Like that's where the majority of the string noise resides. And you got to play with that to like get the desired tone out of whatever instrument it is you're EQing that you want. So you got to play around with that. I don't want to take out the 450. I don't want to boost it either. So I'm just going to go up to, I'm just going to double the frequency and just kind of go up. So that's kind of like its harmonic brother in a sense, sister, whichever one, y'all want to use. And I'll just boost that a little bit and leave that there, right? Because I like how it sounds. So we're going to do that. And now I like how it sounds, but it still sounds a little bit muddy for my taste. So I'm going to use a high pass and cut off a little bit more of the lows. And I'll tell you why in a second. Okay. So I again, there are these magic numbers for every instrument that they just really respond very, very well to. And as you can see, with the low end aspect and getting rid of the muddiness, you hear how much cleaner the bass sounds, right? So you have to understand that regardless of the fact that you're able to take the frequency and like move it down here and boost it and get more low end, all you're doing when you do that is just creating more muddiness in your mix. It doesn't sound clean. It sounds very jumbled up. It's, it sounds confusing, and nothing tends to make sense musically because, you're doing live sound or you're in your studio and it feels good. So you think, yeah, I should leave it here. When no, you should not, right? So every instrument has a range in which it operates best. So, remembering the frequency spectrum chart off the top of my head, from what I can remember, the magic number for the bass is like 85 hertz, right? And for the slap, the attack is somewhere between 2 to 3K, and everything else in the middle is whatever you do with it, right? The chart wasn't very specific on how to EQ. It was just giving you, magic numbers that work well for each instrument, right? And 85 hertz is for the bass. What I've come to realize over the years is that 85 hertz is cool, but if I clean it up and not boost 85 hertz, but clean up around that area, I get a more punchier sound in my bass. It sounds way cleaner, and it sounds way better once I send it to my subs, in doing a live show. Like, I get a cleaner sound out of it. It doesn't sound like rumbling noise. It sounds like something is actually being done, right? Music wise, you sound like you're hearing what the bass is talking about. So I notice, when you clean up your channel and you do it in a good way, I'm not going to say there's a proper way, this is the best way. There's none of that. You still need to have taste. You still need to mix musically. You still need to understand frequency. You still need to understand the technical side, but there's also a musicality to mixing as well. So when you understand that and you blend the two, you start to get a good sound. So what I like to do is I like to clean up all this, right? And then boost a little bit above, and then take out what I need to take out. This is new for me. This 200 area. That's new for me. I like how it sounds, so I'm gonna leave it. I do mess around with the string noise, so depending on the instrument and what that instrument sounds like, I either boost or cut in this mid-range area. And then, just for a little clarity, for the slap, for the pluck, go to the upper registry of the spectrum, and then, you give it a little boost. So this is what I do for the bass, and I'm gonna let it play out, and you guys let me know what you think.